If you saw the reviews about the Pietro, you heard that it produces great cups, but the ergonomics are among the worst. Okay, Fordensato developed a base that improves the stability. However, it adds $65 to a grinder that it's already expensive. Too much for me, especially because I have a 3D printer. Then I decided to look for a model or to develop one by myself. I found only two models. One is Spade and fully made in a lot of TPU, which is a flexible material like a rubber. And this material, the problem is that it's more expensive, it's slower, much slower to print, and it may be more difficult to get a good quality in the printing. The other was made in PLA, which is a hard material, but it could scratch my grinder, especially because I would be submitting to constant efforts. I grind a lot of Ethiopias, always light roasted, and those beans, they demand more strength when you're grinding. The other disadvantage of that model is that it was a bit narrow, so it was wobbling when I was grinding, and it was not very comfortable. This model will also increase the clearance, which will avoid bumping on the table when I'm grinding. I'm grinding in the number 7, adding 10 grams of coffee. Let me show you the effort. I need to put some force with this hand to keep it stable, and the lever sometimes bump on my thumb. Now let's add 10 grams of coffee again. The first days I was like Daddy Got Coffee, loving the sensorial but hating the ergonomics. I was even considering selling the Pietro and keeping only the ZP6, which can produce very similar cups, but with much better ergonomics. But this base made me accept the Pietro with an okay-ish ergonomics for the quality of the cup that it produces. If you want to 3D print this model, it's available on Printables and MakerWorld. In my profiles, I'll leave links in the description. It's free for personal use. If you want to commercialize, please reach out to me. I'm not gonna charge exorbitant royalties, of course not, but it's just to differentiate the commercial from the personal use and give a fair treatment to both. By the way, if you want to support me, you can go to my model, download it, and even better, if you have a 3D printer, you can print it, upload your make, and then you can use it. If you have a Pietro, give it to a friend or send to Daddy Got Coffee. I don't know his address, but I'm joking. Please don't send it. And these actions give me some points that I can exchange by filaments to do more tests on coffee models in the future. Another comment, Printables is running a contest right now on coffee accessories. If you go to printables.com, you will see contests. There are a lot of styles, functional designs like a knockbox, organizers, filter holders. There are many interesting stuff here, so I recommend you to take a look. If you're printing this model, remember that different printers, different filament brands, different slice settings will lead to different shrinkage rates. Then I uploaded also some test files for the internal case and for the external base. Then print the test files and test to see if it is too tight or too loose in your grinder. If it is too tight in the slicer, you can scale up by maybe 0.5% or something, just to increase like 0.3 millimeters in each axis, only X and Y, not Z. And then you can test again. I recommend to adjust first the internal case, When you think that it is fitting nice in your grinder, then you adjust the external case again by scaling up or down by 0.5% in X and Y axis, not in Z, and then you can print the full models. How tight and how loose? I like an intermediate situation where the internal case is easily inserted in the external case, and the internal case I like a bit tighter, but it's still not too much, so tight enough for the grinder not to wobble when I'm grinding, but not too tight that when I remove it from the base, the cup gets stuck inside. Depending on the surface that you're gonna use, I also recommend you to add an anti-slip pad. It should be 6 inches or 15 centimeters wide and about 7 inches or 18 millimeters in length. I left one example in the description, but check what works best for you. I didn't need it, so I didn't test any of the options. And now that it's much easier for you to use your Pietro, don't forget to give your like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.